Hey everybody, this is Sin Speaks. Today I am doing a interview with my friend Briston Brown.
Hi there, guys. What's up?
Today, let's start off with a very simple question. Do you consider yourself a brony, a fan of the My Little Pony fandom?
If we're just going by that terminology of just fan of My Little Pony, the newest iteration to the Friendship is Magic, then yes, I am a brony.
Okay. How did you become one?
Oh, that is a very long story. Let me just try to cut it short. I used to be a hater, and I was well aware of it when it came to 4chan. And one of my friends, years later, I'd say 2012, was trying to get into the show. One of my friends and I bashed him about it. Uh, didn't really think about it at the time because we were, haters and whatnot. And it kind of dwelled on me. And I thought, I'm a film critic in a sense. I'm a filmmaker, so I thought it was implorable of me for judging something I haven't seen. So I decided to finally watch My Little Pony, and the rest is history from that point.
Yeah, like judging a book by its cover.
Correct.
Who's your favorite pony?
Oh, well, if anyone knows me, my favorite is Rarity.
Any particular reason why?
Actually, surprisingly enough, Rarity reminds me of myself a lot. I see a lot of characteristics that I relate with Rarity, and a lot of her stories I have experienced myself firsthand. So, for the most part, I just feel like we're akin to each other.
It sounds actually very familiar to a lot of my friends. Do you have a most hated pony? One that you dislike the least, or something?
It's funny enough when you use the word hate. I don't actually hate things because hate is absolute just horrible.
Yeah.
What I dislike though, I think the only pony I used to dislike Sunset Shimmer until Rainbow Rocks, but I think if I have to pinpoint it now, a pony that I dislike, it's probably still Diamond Tiara. That's the only one I could think off the top of my head that I really dislike.
Yeah,
Other than that,
I don't think there's a whole lot of people who like Diamond Tiara at this point.
well, I mean, like, until she shows redeeming characteristics about her, I think she's just going to be stand out as just the bully, and she's just a one-dimensional type character that serves her purpose.
Yeah, I mean, she does her job really freaking well, but
Oh, yeah.
yeah. Have you ever had pony-related alcoholic drinks?
No, I have not, actually. Well, the thing is, because I can't drink alcohol, although I am of age, I just have medical conditions, I can't drink alcohol.
Yeah, I can't actually drink carbonated stuff.
But if I did have an alcoholic drink, I'd probably try some kind of sake and have it like named after like aloe and lotus or whatnot. Because like I would think because this is how I believe they're kind of like Oriental based. So I would like to believe like
Yeah.
they would have like something with sake or something like that. If not, then I would just believe that like it's Rarity in Japan and this is sake. I would like to try that.
If you pick the main six and you put them to alcoholic drinks, like Applejack would be Applejack Daniels, what would you think they were?
Okay, so let me try and make sure I get the whole six with me. So let's just start off with Rarity. I think she'd be classy. I think she'd be like, I'm gonna just put her with Bond. I'm just gonna say like, she's a martini, shaken not stirred.
Yeah.
Rainbow Dash would be like an Irish car bomb.
I've never heard of that actually.
Twilight, she's the smart drinker. I think if we're going by hard alcohol,
Well, any particular alcohol, right?
any particular alcohol, then I'm just gonna say we'll keep her safe. We're gonna just stick her with a daiquiri, strawberry daiquiri.
Good choice.
Oh no, that would make sense. Yeah, strawberry daiquiri. I'll go with the red in her hair. Applejack, it would be between an apple teeny or I would give her Angry Orchard.
Angry Orchard.
Drink.
That sounds like an amazing drink.
Fluttershy, I think she would just drink a Mike's Hard Lemonade. She wouldn't want anything too hard. She might even go for another, like a daiquiri, something akin to Twilight. And Pinkie Pie, I think she's the party monster. She would either down Patron or she would go
Hard
after
vodka?
Oh yeah, not necessarily vodka. That's on rarity right there. I would say like she's down either Patron or Bacardi or 151 or Absinthe. She would just go some of the most strongest stuff
God.
and go crazy with it.
I wonder if she could actually handle it too.
And let's just throw in some fun stuff. We'll throw in like some random uh, drink mixes or whatnot. I don't know. I can't think of anything. I can only think of hard drinks at the moment.
I've only seen drinks from shows, so I know the very, very common ones like appletini.
I have.
Hmm?
Well, I have not actually drank any drinks myself. I've made drinks for my friends, and I've been around with people who drink a lot, so I know my drink or two. Sans the actual drinking.
Do you own any merchandise, like MLP merchandise or, something like that?
Oh, of course I do.
What types?
Oh man, there's way too many. Off the top of my head, I have a bunch of plushies. I have small blind bag figurines, McDonald's toys, some of the Funko vinyl figurines.
Nice.
I have the trading cards, both the playing one and the collectible one.
Nice.
I have DVDs. I have the lunch pail tins or whatnot. I have a blanket. I have a hoodie. The Wonderbolt hoodie. I'm trying to think of I collect the comic book series. Of course, I already mentioned the DVDs and the Blu-rays. I think that about covers it. There's also like random buttons and ties actually too. Ties, yes.
Very impressive collection. I have like 7 different types now I think about it.
I have a huge variety of stuff.
Yeah, damn. Have you ever gone to a convention? If so, which one?
Yes, I have. Are we just going to talk about pony specific conventions or?
Yeah, let's go with pony specific.
Oh yeah, I've been to plenty. I've been to the first I've been to and I've done because I worked there. The first 2 EQAs. First year BabsCon worked there. What else did I go to? I actually come to think about it, those are the only pony conventions I've actually been to. Because everything else is either regarding to work or I'm trying to think. Yeah, just pretty much work. I've just been to the first 2 EQAs in BabsCon for pony conventions.
Yeah, I personally haven't gone to any because I haven't had the ability to. But hopefully I will be able to go to 2 next year. Are you going to any?
At the moment, the only one I can think of I'd probably be going back to, and this again, it's just in regards to work, would be the Grand Gallery. The EQLA and BabsCon. I kind of want to go to BronyCon, but it's just like it. At this point, it seems a little bit much for me. Everfree sounds really, really cool to go to, and I was trying to go earlier this year, but I just didn't have the funds for it.
John Delancey will be at next year's Free Northwest. I'm really excited because I'm should be going to that one as well as MLP MSP. So I'm really excited because I want to meet John Delancey as well as Michelle Krieber and Claire Collette because all 3 of them are freaking awesome.
John has a very enigmatic personality, if that's the right terminology I'm using here. He just has this very strong personality, comes off very very assuring. It's not like the kind of strong personality you would feel uncomfortably to be around with. It's just like, like you could feel his presence and feel that, there's a man of sophistication and stuff. It's like actually pretty cool.
Yeah, I always heard that he was a jokester, Discord.
Not so much like Discord, but he does play around and he does have his moments, which is actually nice.
Yeah, he's a really cool guy too. Yeah, there's actually a quote, a picture I had a long while ago that he did about the bronies. Is he like an admin, like brony guy, or?
Oh, what do you mean, like?
Like supports the bronies fully and like I suck at words.
Uh,
Um,
if anything, he's basically supports the Brony movement in a sense, and with the documentary that he did, just in light to what his insights are for the Brony community in a sense.
yeah. Those you worked on the documentaries, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Could you tell us anything about them, or is that
With the
no?
first movie, I was merely involved with mostly post stuff. I didn't really deal with grandiose things in the first movie. Um, the only reason I came in contact with the first movie was because when I was with when I did the Brony Clubhouse, we interviewed at John Delancey's place, and then through John and a mutual friend of ours, met Mike the producer, and then we collaborated and whatnot, and worked with like setting up stuff for the DVDs and stuff like that.
Nice.
And then I was brought later back on for Bronies 2, more about the unexpected fandom. And I had edited several clips, basically, or several segments amongst Nick, who's the editor he was the assistant editor for the first movie and the primary editor for the sequel, basically, and Carlos, who is also known as Soul Rack. We've all worked alongside with each other to edit together these footage. I had one particular segment that was edited mostly by me, and that was fixed up with Nick, to condense it down, which was the Andrew Brockhoff segment, the chairman of BronyCon.
Yeah.
Aside from that, yeah, that was pretty much it. A lot of my work was focused on the Bronies too, and then I also was involved with the Brony Tale too.
Yeah. With Ashley Ball, I believe.
Mm-hmm. With Ashley Ball and Brett Hodge. I wouldn't say I'm super strong friends, but I like to believe that, we're friends at least, with the sense of at least business friends. And I hopefully
Yeah.
I like to believe we're a little bit more than that too, with Ashley and Brett. And I did basically on-set sound for the Santa Monica Pier segment, which was very small, but nonetheless, that was really early. That was like shot 2 years ago.
Wow.
And I did sound for it way back then. Had no idea it'd become a movie like that or whatnot. So that was kind of cool. Like I was just doing what I do best, which was just sound work, and it was awesome. And then just things developed from that point on. It was really cool.
Do you have a job? If so, was it?
Yes, I do. I'm going to go with my non-linear job first because I don't like to talk about my main job because it sucks.
Yeah.
My main career job is I'm a filmmaker.
Oh.
I mostly do sound work and assistant directing and production. But I've been known to do a lot of things. My main goal is I want to be a director, but I got to pay my dues and do a lot of other things too. But I'm more of a jack of all trades. I've worked on a lot of sets, a lot of movies. Have a lot of connections.
Could you give us some names for those movies? Which ones?
Well, obviously there's Bronies 2, Brony Tale, Deadly Revisions, web-based series such as $2 Therapy, Call of Honor. I've worked at the Grammys. I've worked on countless student films, independent films that have gone on to film festivals. Unfortunately, a lot of them are lost to me because I never received credit for my work, but that's okay. And this is way before when I was very naive and whatnot. Now it's just like I do my work, I get paid, and I get my credit. That's for the span of most, and that's half of my time spent on my career whenever I can spend my time on it. My actual job, my civilian job, my main job, which I'm not proud of, but it's needed to pay the bills.
Yeah,
and
if it pays, it works.
Pays the bills, pay the rent. I gotta do what I gotta do to survive.
Yeah.
Because the other job's nice. I get quite a bit of money, but it's every blue moon. My main job is actually I work at Target, but I work amongst many things. I'm like a cashier. I work in electronics, hard lines, guest services. Starbucks. So I'm again kind of like how I am in the film industry. I'm a jack of all trades. And then I have a third tier job, which is it's very not lucrative is the word I would use, but it's very gig based, just like my film one. I do photography, and most of the photography I do is headshots and event coverage, which is what I do for cons and cosplay.
Yeah. I believe a while ago when I was talking to you, you said that you once were with Everfree Northwest. No, sorry, not Northwest. Everfree Network.
Oh yes,
Sorry.
Back when I was with the Brony Clubhouse, or when I did the Brony Clubhouse, we joined Everfree Network after our successful interview with John Delancey, which was a little.
Could you give like the viewers some basis on what the Brony Clubhouse is? Because I just realized we haven't talked about that.
Oh no, don't worry. So the Brony Clubhouse was basically a YouTube show that I myself, alongside with Justin Blackburn, started up, and we utilized a lot of our friends to create a show. And mostly it was just reviews of at the time third season, and reviews of third season, pony history, and then a lot of other random things that happened within it, like event coverage or meetups and stuff like that.
And that's on YouTube, right?
Correct. Actually, I will link you to that in event.
So if you guys want to watch that, look in the description. Look at it.
There's some long history with the Brony Clubhouse and a lot of things that went down with it. Good times were had there. But midway through our existence as the Brony Clubhouse or whatnot, we were approached by Everfree after our interview with John Delancey. We have good connections. Let's just put it this way. And so we were asked to join Everfree, and pretty much we amalgamated with them, and we didn't cease to become the Brony Clubhouse. We just name changed to the Brony Clubhouse, and we were with them for, I think, if I remember it, a good 2.5 months or so. Yep.
Impressive.
And yeah.
What exactly did you do there?
So for the Brony Clubhouse, although it's not often mentioned, I was one of the founders. But primarily my job was I was the director, the producer, the editor, the cinematographer, and 37 different other types for the Brony Clubhouse. As many from the Brony Clubhouse would say, I was the workhorse for the Brony Clubhouse.
That
and it was
tiring.
No joke. Oh, it was. Brony Clubhouse was it wasn't almost. It was a full-time job for me when I didn't have a job at the time. And I wish it was like a paid gig or whatnot. That would have been great. I would have paid a lot of money for what I was doing.
Do you have any embarrassing moments that you could tell us about?
In what regards, like in Brony Clubhouse?
In pretty much your entire work history with the Brony Clubhouse or the and cons or Everfree Network or such like that.
Okay, so embarrassing moment. There's a here and there for that. I mean, it depends on what you would consider embarrassing. I'm trying to think of a Brony Clubhouse. There were moments like I'm trying to remember. Like when we do mess ups or whatnot, there have been some mix ups and those like embarrassing or I'm trying to remember offhand. Con wise, it was embarrassing when I was trying to do one of the interviews and when I was talking to Andrea, I still do it to this day, which is I enunciate her name improperly. I had Spencer tell me, he's like, it's Andrea. And he's like, Andrea, Andrea. I was like, okay. So setting this up, and I was just like, oh no, man, I'm messing up. He's like, oh, don't worry about it. I was like, okay, cool. No offense or what. I was like, it's a unique name in a sense, or a unique way of pronouncing your name.
And for
Um,
all the viewers, Andrew Libman is the voice of Pinkie Pie and Fluttershy on MLP.
Another fun and embarrassing moment. This is a more embarrassing on my end because of I mean I've met all the show cast. I know them, and I have good talks with them and whatnot. I think the most embarrassing moment I've ever had though was when I first met Kathy Westluck, and it's not because it's the only of the voice actresses that I actually fangasmed about, and that wasn't because of her work in My Little Pony. She's, for those of you who don't know, Kathy Westluck does the voice of Spike the Dragon in Mayor Mayor. And, but to me, she wasn't Spike or Mayor Mayor. To me, she was, Mirai Yashima from the original Mobile Suit Gundam.
Huh.
And so when I talked to her, I was only talking about Gundam. And so I was actually happy to hear that when she was like, oh yeah, you know, like I remember doing it for da da da. And then she was like, oh yeah, I also did like Kika Cots and Let's. And I was like, wait a second, you voiced for the kids? How come I didn't know about this? And she kind of did the voices for me. I was like, oh my God. And so, oh my God, I'm sorry. It's kind of embarrassing that I'm not fangasming about ponies or whatnot, because that's nothing compared to, I was like, oh my God, you're amazing. That was one of my more embarrassing moments because I was just fangasming and talking Gundam with Kathy Westluck rather than really prepping up for we were prepping up for the interview, but it was like after the fact of the matter.
Yeah. That sounds very, very interesting, very funny. I wish I was there, honestly. That would have been awesome. Do you have any others?
I'm trying to think of any other funny or embarrassing moments. I think there's one or two that we had with the Everfree crew. Nothing bad or anything. Like we were just like, you know, kind of just horsing around, just horsing around and whatnot, and just like just good times. And it can be looked at as embarrassing at some point, but just like I look back at it, I just laugh at it. Nothing I can really say necessarily because I don't want to mention people, not have putting people in a different light. But good times, good times.
Here's another question. What is your favorite / least favorite moment in an MLP episode, and why?
So my favorite moment, gotta think far and wide on this one. I'm probably gonna have to say my favorite moment was probably in it has to go back to Applebuck season for me. Favorite moment was in Applebuck season. Just Applejack just being like stupid tired. Yeah, just her being stupid tired that entire episode. Every moment of her being stupid tired made me laugh. From the expressions that she had to what she had to say in her lines, I thought that was hilarious.
I really love the expressions in that episode.
And for me, like I relate completely with Applejack because when I am stupid, exhausted, I become like that. It's like my equivalent of being drunk, and I don't need to drink alcohol. That's what I am when I'm tired.
Sounds tiring.
Least favorite moment though, trying to think far and wide. I don't know really a least favorite. Probably I don't know why. Spencer might get upset at me for this one, but I was just like, I never really felt for that episode besides the song, which was Yankee Doodle Donkey. I think that's what the episode was called. I can't remember. It's the episode with the Smile song for Pinkie Pie, which I actually love the Smile song. But I just like,
my favorite song, actually.
I never really felt much for that episode. So like, just whenever Pinkie was trying to befriend Yankee, it didn't work for me, I guess. That's the only thing I can think of off the top of my head. I really don't think the episodes to figure out.
The donkey's name was Cranky Doodle Donkey.
Cranky, there you go. Sorry. Yeah. I'm thinking Yankee Doodle Donkey. I'm thinking of the actual legitimate Yankee Doodle. So, Cranky Doodle. But whenever she was trying to befriend Cranky, it didn't sit well with me. Other than, this donkey is really, really bald. And that one made me laugh. Everything else just kind of like, being overzealous there.
Yeah. It didn't particularly match Pinkie's mind style. I'm trying to think of the correct word.
Mindset, yeah.
Yeah, mindset, there you go. for that episode. But that song still remains one of my #1 favorite songs, even through the 4th season.
Mm-hmm.
Because they did really well on that episode song for that episode, but that episode could do it with some serious redoing. Do you believe in headcanons? And if so, do you have any?
I don't believe in headcanons because, as a person of comics and whatnot, I only believe in legitimate canon. That being said, though, that doesn't mean it's not fun to have your own headcanon. And yes, I do have some of my own headcanons, but it's just like some silly stuff like I like to believe that Lyra and Bon Bon are together, that Derpy Hooves and Doctor Hooves are together, and Final Scratch and Octavia are together.
Have you seen the Rainbow Rocks episode? Movie? Sorry.
Of course I have.
Yeah. In one of the scenes, Lyra and Bon Bon are doing the piano thing, and they're looking into each other's eyes. I think that was a shout out to the fans of Lyra and Bon Bon.
I honestly do not know. I can't attest to it or anything like that, but I like to believe that that was a clear shout out to the fans, or they were just goofing around or whatnot.
Yeah, either it was a shout out to the fans, or they were just messing with us.
I think it's a little bit of both, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's as much as what they gave Octavia barely a second of lines before she gets hunkered down. So
that was just mean. I liked how they did vinyl in that movie though.
It was awesome. Actually kind of cool that she had like a surprise important role out of nowhere.
I love her car though. That was amazing. I want that car.
I think any DJ or any music head would really, really want that car.
It has its own freaking drum set. So I mean, seriously.
It's its own little band right there.
Do you have any hobbies?
Yes, I do actually. I have plenty of hobbies.
Could you tell us some of your favorite hobbies?
So I'll go with some of the non-conventional hobbies since, like, I'm pretty sure, like, if I mention my other hobbies, like, everyone's like, oh, yeah, of course I do that. One of my other unconventional hobbies is I like to build Gundam models. Spend some good time on those guys. I've never really done painting for them. I've always built them and then just be happy with them because I'm always terrible at being very articulate with painting. I like to collect stuff. Usually I like to collect cards, or in my current case, because I'm a comic book reader, I like to collect comics. What else? I mean, other things I like to do as a hobby, like I play video games. I consider this a hobby, is watching classic or old movies or just movies in general and analyze them and break them down because it's something I like to do. And it's almost working, but for me, it's like I enjoy analyzing a film and breaking it down for what it is.
Yeah, I would say that watching a movie isn't a hobby, but analyzing it and breaking it down and, creating thoughts and movements in your head would kind of be a hobby.
Well, when you're a filmmaker, you stop watching movies to enjoy them, and the moment you sit down and watch a movie, you are watching it at the same time you're breaking down every frame, like frame by frame, you're breaking down that movie. So it's like at one point you're having fun at the same time you're working. So like you're just analyzing everything from lighting to the framing to the mise en scène, the acting, the makeup, the wardrobe, the set that's being used, or if it's green screen, the exposure for it, and so forth. It just goes on and on and on, and then picking up all kinds of nuances. So it's like, it's not just you're sitting down and watching a movie. You're sitting down, you're ripping it to shreds in your mind quietly. That's why I'm like, well, I say watching a movie, it's like, I'm not really watching a movie. It's more like dissecting it.
As I've always learned, the more things you understand, the more things you see, the more information you have to draw upon later in the future.
Oh, yeah.
What other shows do you like? What are your favorite shows?
Oh, that's a really good question. Do you just want shows in general, or like just go all over the place? Because
Um,
honestly,
just go all over the place.
good. That's the answer I was hoping for. Because there's like regular shows. Like I don't really have regular shows I like because I grew up watching cartoons and anime.
Yeah.
I'm more of that kind of a person. So like, I love the original Mobile Suit Gundam. There's like GTO, Fist of North Star. I've recently finished and I'm waiting for the third half or the half of the third arc for JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Oh yeah, my brother loves that show.
I'm absolutely in love with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. It's awesome. Other shows, I think I'm catching up with Walking Dead,
Huh.
Bob's Burgers, King of the Hill, South Park, American Dad, Family Guy, Futurama. I'm going off on a chain because I'm just thinking of this stuff. And then I can think back to old cartoons like Courage the Cowardly Dog, Powerpuff Girls, Two Stupid Dogs, Dexter's Laboratory. And I can keep going from that point on, like Tom and Jerry, Looney Tunes. Like, I love all these like cartoon shows because that's what I grew up with. Not saying I don't watch regular shows. I mean, I think about regular shows and like what Firefly, Dark
Nice.
Angel. Trying-
Firefly is a show that my entire family enjoys. Is
it's a
yeah.
it's a fun sci-fi western. What can I say? See, it's good. Too bad Fox didn't know it was too good before canceling it. Idiots.
Yeah, that was sad. I mean, the movie that they made off it, Serenity, that freaking made most of us cry.
Well, of course, because people who die. Not saying who does, but
Yeah, that was sad.
I'm trying to think
Uh,
any other like normal. Oh, I'm looking back to Adult Swim now, like Aqua Teen Hunger Force, Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law. I mean, like some of the weirder stuff, like Tim and Eric's Awesome Show.
hmm.
Even their new one, Bedtime Stories. I mean, like it's quirky, weird humor, but I enjoy it. Heart She Hollers. I mean, I can go on and list a lot of series and shows and whatnot. Uh, that say I have a particular favorite. I enjoy them all. It's like whenever I can watch and just have fun because I don't know why with the television series, with the exception of some of the more cinematic ones like Breaking Bad or
Yeah.
Walking Dead or whatnot, I'm not breaking them down because they don't feel cinematic to me. They feel like just to watch and enjoy it.
Yeah.
And unlike movies, television is a completely different beast. Not a lot of people realize that. So I can actually watch it and feel like I don't have to break down anything. I can enjoy the substance without the subsistence. Like.
Yeah. The question I have is, you play games, right? You play video games, right?
Of course.
What are your favorite types of genres? Like, FPS, RPG, RTS, Japanese role-playing game, stuff like that. What's your favorite?
I think if I had to do a go-to immediately would be action RPGs. So something akin to like I wouldn't. Well, I consider WoW within this realm, but like WoW, Baldur's Gate, Champions. Trying to think of any other action-oriented RPG where you can actually fight and then level up. Those kind of games. First-person shooters are a good follow-up. Third-person shooters as well. Platformers are something I excel in perfectly because I like to believe that I'm Mario because I cosplay Mario too, and I'm stupid good at Mario games, with the exception of the 3D ones because I have really really bad depth perception on that one.
Aw.
I love puzzle games. There are some action games out there. Actually, one of my most favorite game series, Monster Hunter, is an action series game. So that's different. Of course, traditional RPGs are fantastic. Final Fantasy, Pokemon, Dragon Warrior. To a level, I had to tap into my inner racer in me, and I like racing games from time to time. It really depends on the racing system. Like I love Burnout Legends or Burnout Paradise. Mario Kart's always fun unless you get someone that's really really good and knows how to work Mario Kart. Then it's no fun.
Have you played Need for Speed Most Wanted on the
Yes, I
PS2?
have.
Nice.
I've played that one. I've also played Underground 1 and 2, Hot Pursuit.
Nice.
You mentioned, I think Most Wanted was the last one they released on the PS2 before moving on to PS3. Can't remember.
We only have Most Wanted on PS2.
Ah.
Yeah, I was actually raised on FPSs. Since I was like 2, I've been playing Halo and stuff like that. And I wouldn't say I'm a freaking master at the game, but I am damn good at it.
You're not going to be a master unless you do those tournaments.
Yeah,
I
ain't no
was
way
saying,
I'm
for
winning
shame on you. Your beginning games was FPS. I mean, like, I feel like I'm coming into this new generation of games. Like, oh, you guys are playing all these new games. What happened to playing the old school games like Mario or Zelda or like?
Mario was actually one of the first games I played. I played it on the oh, was it the GBA? The original
Okay.
GBA? Yeah.
Yeah, when they brought back the Nintendo classics and Mario, the original Mario Brothers was amongst them.
Yeah.
I remember that because I actually bought that one too because when my NES broke down and I lost all my games, I had to buy that one. That was like, oh, nostalgia. But I was actually glad that I could say my very first game was Super Mario Brothers on the NES. That I can actually legitimately say that was my first game, and I'm the classic 8-bit one that saved the gaming industry.
Yeah, I haven't played that for God knows how long. But one of my favorite memories of games that isn't Halo or FPS and whatnot is actually Super Mario 64. I
Mm-hmm.
like played that game for hours upon hours.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I remember when I played 64 the first time when it came out back, I think it was 96 or so, 95, 96 is when it came out. And I absolutely hated it. I was so excited to play it. When I finally got to play it, I hated it. And it was just because I had this lack of depth perception of the 3D within the world. And remember, 64 was one of the first, not the first one, because I know Sony came out with PlayStation first,
Yeah.
but I didn't play the PlayStation. I played N64 first. And that kind of 3D realm was so off-putting for me. And I was legitimately pissed that I couldn't jump and hit a block properly or land somewhere without falling down or getting hurt or whatnot. Or hitting enemies, let alone just jumping on them. It was just so weird for me. And then I think that's like what kids nowadays won't ever have that experience or that sensation of like when they transition from 2D games to legitimate 3D games, there's a grandiose different feel for it.
Yeah, I'm kind of sad I can't get that because since I played Halo when I was 2, when I played Super Mario 64, I just like went into that like a freaking fish into water.
Exactly. See, you were already akin to 3D,
Yeah.
whereas like I've always had played from NES to SNES and then jumping onto the N64. It was like a brand new beast for me, so it was really weird.
Oddly enough, I cannot play 2D games very well.
See,
Funny enough.
there you
Yeah.
go. It's like it probably, I don't know, like I know some of my friends get nauseous playing 2D games or playing games like something to Doom, the original Doom on
Oh
PC,
yeah,
and it's just because the motion, the movements of it,
yeah,
just it makes them nauseous.
yeah. My mother can't play. My mother tried playing Halo, at one point, and she almost threw up after like 5 minutes because she couldn't handle the moving side to side. I
But
couldn't
I
give
think
it
that
a
actually is for a lot of people too who are not used to FPS games. Is like
yeah.
some people move so fast or like turn around so much or whatnot that it's very disorienting, and they are not able to visually grasp what's going on, and it causes them to feel dizzy or not being able to play an FPS game properly. I
Mm.
can't blame that. I can't blame that.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like no more different than me being able to tell what's really in front of me or how far is something in a 3D world, you know.
yeah. How would you do with a virtual reality fantasy game, or have you seen Sword Art Online?
Yes, I have. That was a
Yeah.
fantastic anime.
Yes, yes, it was. We're still watching we're watching the second season of it.
I haven't even jumped on second season yet. I'm just
Oh my
waiting.
god, dude, that is so amazing.
I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it.
Uh,
Wait,
uh,
second season as in like season 2 or like the second half of the first season?
Season 2, the one with guns.
Okay, yeah, I haven't
Yeah,
watched
gun
that yet.
go.
Don't worry, you're not spoiling anything. I'm already well aware about that one. I was just making sure because
Yeah.
I hate how anime nowadays is like, oh, this is season 1, then season 2, and like it's just basically 13 episodes, but like it's one series to begin with. It's just,
Yeah.
it's really weird. I don't know why anime does it this day, but I'm not.
Yeah, I don't give. I'm not really an anime person. I'm more of a gaming person that I will watch anime at times, but not very often.
Anime has been akin to me since I was a child, but not so much so until I was in high school. But
Yeah, but
sorry for the fact, but go on with your question.
how would you like to be in the Sword Art Online type of world? How would you enjoy playing that?
I would greatly enjoy that because I'm not using my actual body to do things. It's all my mind and my abilities to process things. So if I'm starting to fail at this point, I'm just going to blame my ability to comprehend and to think faster. Like a computer. I've always been fascinated with that kind of gameplay since we play with controllers. But my hand-eye coordination, while it is good, is not fast enough. I can never really be truly competitive anymore, but still, it's like I can't enjoy playing a game.
And yeah, the Connect for the Xbox 360 and Xbox One, that does a good job at the whole use your body as your controller, but it doesn't do it, in my opinion, well enough. It doesn't make it so you feel like you're in
It's
it.
still an infancy type device because it's not full. It still needs to work out its kinks, and it's utilizing through like boxes and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
identifying motions and the such. Sorry. But this is more or less just the beginning stage of things that will come in the future. Hopefully, if they continue with research and programming of a game that can allow you to move within the 3D realm of it.
Yeah. What do you think would happen in the future? Like, I know in some sci-fi books they have like armbands that have a computer keyboard on them, and you can
Okay.
like basically make an entire hologram computer in front of you. What do you think of that kind of stuff?
Like futuristic stuff in general, or just that particular item?
Well, future stuff in general, but that's my basis. That's my
I mean,
example,
future stuff.
basically.
I'm always welcoming new technology and new stuff. While it could be kind of scary, I am always welcoming it because I've always wanted. I'm more of a sci-fi kind of a person, so I always appreciate the future and what it holds for us and new technologies,
Yeah.
making our lives simpler or even more complex.
Yeah.
I mean, things I've joked around, I would love to see like flying cars. This is not particularly pertaining to the future, but jetpacks, because jetpacks are awesome.
Yeah.
No one objects to this one. I would love to see like cyber prosthesis, akin to like Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah.
More neural interfacing with the internet, so we would have like hard drives in our minds and stuff like that.
Yeah, that would be
Uh,
awesome. Just
Holographic projections. It could be even as grand as something that you would see in like Star Trek Next Generation with the holodeck and
yeah.
stuff like that. I
Or
would
like
love.
in Iron Man, where he has his entire holographic room. Yeah. I kind of want that just so I can have like 500 things up at once and just like multitask it all, because I love to sort stuff. So that's like my dream, is to have all that stuff up there just to keep moving it around. I think I don't have this as the last question. This is from my friend. This is she wanted me to ask you this. Her
Okay.
name, yeah. She says, if you could make your own plant with your own species, what would you name your plant and your creature, and what would a plant look like and the species?
Oh, um, that's almost to a level of god tiering, and I don't approve nor do I like god tiering, with the exception of when I play Spore.
Yeah, but I
Uh,
mean, this is basically Spore. You have your own plant,
yeah,
which you would name it, and then your species and stuff like that.
I'm terrible with names. If I had to create a species, I would like to create like some kind of cybernetic
Ooh.
being, because I always believe that organics will fail.
Yeah.
I believe that machinery is so much more superior to organic, in my opinion, at
Yeah.
least.
Because you
Um,
can always replace something that you can always place parts in a machine, but
I
you
would go
can't.
as far to say it's kind of like the Geth,
Yes, the Geth are awesome, like
yes,
Legion.
exactly. Mm-hmm.
And they
But
also have
like,
a hive mind. They have their own mine, but they also are part of a big one.
Here's how I do it. I would do something akin to the Geth and mix it in with the Zaku mobile suit traits.
What's a Zaku?
A Zaku is a suit in Gundam.
Ah.
Make it because it's just the mono Cyclops type eye, but I always like that. From Cylons to Geth and the Zakus, it's something I like. So make it akin to those amalgamations, and then what I'm gonna call it? I don't even know what I want to call it. I'd call them like something I don't know, something cybernetic or something cool. I don't know. And then the planet itself, maybe a mechanized type planet. I wanted to call it Cybertron, but that's taken, damn it. Stupid Transformers already having that. Let's call it Mechapopolis. The mechs would be called Cyanoids. There we go.
Cyanoids and
Cyanoids. Cycloptic or Cyanoids. And I mean, Mechapopolis.
That sounds awesome.
There you go. I'm tapping into my spore roots without, wanting to create dick creatures and funny, inappropriate planet names,
Yeah. Well, I have to go, so I'm gonna make that last. So thanks for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed doing this. For all the rest of you, if you want to see more of this stuff, send me more topics and things, and look at the rest of my stuff in the description, or social media networks. Contact me.
Don't forget to subscribe and like his YouTube channel. You can also do the same thing with me, because I actually have a YouTube channel too.
Subscribe to him. I'll link his stuff. And comment. I'll come on to all the stuff. And I will see you all later.
Take care, guys.
See ya.